You know, there was a lot of despair when it first happened. People kind of got strewn in the wind a little bit, so to speak. So my name is Debbie Turnbull. I have worked for the town of Williamstown now for 8 years. I have been working in the town manager's office for several years, and I had joined the town manager's office at the time when the Spruces FEMA grant was being administered. In August of 2011, there was a flood that just completely destroyed the mobile home park. The town made the decision that this was a floodplain and that these individuals were going to remain in harm's way. And we had a 2-year window in which to get this accomplished, to get all of the folks out of the park. So, you know, some people contacted us right away because they already had kind of a plan in place. Other people needed a little bit more prodding, and we had to work a little bit more aggressively in terms of, you know, we haven't heard from you. My job was to assist those individuals in finding new housing. So we were obligated under the terms of the grant to remove all of the mobile homes that were in the park and then just revert the land to flood storage.
My name's Charles Briggs. All my life in Massachusetts.
How long did you live in the Spruces?
Approximately 2 years. I was living over in the Greylock project. There was too much drug stuff going on and everything. And I lived there for, I think it was 16 years or more. And I finally got out of there, bought a place over there. Just paid it off that July of 2011 and lost it the next following month. Something that you just paid off and were living in and expected to be living there the rest of your life. Boom, gone in one day. Told everybody they had to evacuate except for an elderly woman, what I heard, and a guy that was in the picture in the paper. They were bringing him out on a boat. And finally, when they started doing all their inspections and that, we started able to go in and get what we needed. Only had a certain amount of time. We were escorted in, escorted out. Then afterwards, the 3 weeks came. They finally let us in to see what the damage was like. And my place was totally destroyed.
The Spruces was actually a community that they really watched out for one another. And I think the hardest thing for all of the individuals who were affected by the flood and the closure of the park was their loss of community. And I don't think that necessarily the community at large has an appreciation for just what a loss that was for those individuals. You hear the stories of the people who live there. They talk about they would go to each other's homes at night and sit in the yard and, you know, maybe have a cocktail, and you could hear the ball games, you know, playing inside the houses, coming through the windows. And it was really quite a fascinating place when it was first developed. It was considered one of the best mobile home parks in the country, like one of the top 5. But of the 70 families, I think there were only 11 of them that stayed in Williamstown, because Williamstown does not necessarily have a lot of affordable options.
So I ended up living here in the barn with the animals, upstairs. I spent from August all the way up until practically Thanksgiving. So I lived here 3 months in the barn. This is where I would come at night to sleep. Well, it didn't look like this when I stayed here, but I had a TV here. I slept over there. There was heat, baseboard heat, and everything. And I just had a microwave over here on a stand so I could cook something or whatever I needed to cook when I wanted to. Other than that, I ate out. And then put up with the horses at night, kicking the walls Didn't look this bad. But it was warm. It would have been better than camping outside in a tent in the dead of winter. I've done that before. I've been homeless before, so it didn't matter too much. It's just one day you're living somewheres and the next you don't have a place to live. And what I felt bad about was the elderly people that were living in the trailer park. They just lost everything they had developed for, say, 40, 50 years. And they lost it all.
You know, it's interesting, that river always was a strong presence in that park, in that everybody knew that you were kind of on a floodplain. They tried to build up a berm to hold the river back, and they even altered the flow of the river in some places to try to protect the land. When the river takes control, you're completely helpless. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, it was someplace that they used to enjoy, but then it really dealt them a crushing blow in many, many ways. You know, they lost their homes.
They said the water was flowing through here so fast. Stuff was just floating right, heading right for the Hoosick River. I guess they estimated the water in here was 6 to 8 feet tall. There's my neighbor's house right here, a California cottage. They said the water was coming out the back window, and the back window was taller than I am. Right up where we came in between the lines there. The road across from here, you can see the water coming out of the manholes at 3 feet, gushing right up and out. And everything backed up into everybody's trailers. Feces, sewer. That all came up right up in everybody's toilets, sinks, bathtubs. It pretty swell stunk. Water can do a lot of damage.
You know, when they finally were ready to leave, I was the one who took their keys from them, which was actually a very emotional thing. It was not just a transaction of, you know, give me your keys, we're moving you somewhere else. There was a real emotional component to this. I had to kind of really pressure folks to make a decision and make a move, and that felt intrusive and that felt hurtful to them, but there wasn't really a choice. I still spend a lot of time at the park, now in its current form, which is just open space, and I take my dog there and I walk all the time. But as I walk down each of those streets, I know who lived on each street and on each spot. And the park was completely empty. I went there one day by myself and I bawled my eyes out. And I still get emotional thinking about it. Just remembering everything that they went through. I still feel that way.
Right in this area. There was a trailer right behind mine. We had about this much room. Each corner of the trailer was about my shoulder width apart to get through between them. So if there was ever a fire, both of them would go up. I demoed my own by myself, by hand. Tore it piece by piece, ripping it all apart. Ended up with $30,000 and that's all gone. Because I had a lot going on my mind, dealing with FEMA. I was about shocked. It's pretty amazing when you have the thing for one day and then you wake up, it's all gone. No, it's just a goddamn dog park.